Alright, just killing time. I really need an SSD in this machine. It takes me far too long to load.
Hello, so many robots.
Hi Vic, hello everybody. I'm So Many Robots, joined by Vic. This is Dota Battle Season 1, Week 5, Happy Men versus Planet Hype. Thanks for joining us.
Well, just in case, you guys can hear me, but I can't hear you.
Radiance ban.
Okay, apparently Vic can't hear me. I don't know why we always have this goddamn problem. But we see a Timbersaw band coming
Dyer's
out.
ban. Radiance ban. About time.
Hello, can you hear me? So many robots.
Yes, I can hear you just fine. How about you?
Well, I think we're in our third week of Dota battles. Planet Hype, Team Planet.
Alright.
Anyways,
I'm so tired. This happens like every game that Vic or I can't hear each other. This will screw up my whole draft screen too.
Mirana, Timbersaw, and Clockwork are all really great offlaners. So it looks like they're trying to limit the support and offlane capabilities. Just a quick look back at the list of heroes available. There do seem to be a couple of great offlaners. So Happy Men decide to prioritize their support pick in Shadow Shaman.
Vic, can you hear me? I'm back in game now.
Planet Hype followed up with Lich, who was really popular. Kind of fell out.
Alright, hopefully Vic can hear me. Let me know. Oh, son of a bitch. Why is this even happening?
And then let's see what they follow this up with. Lich is a really
Hello, hello.
ultimate. They scale pretty well to the late game actually. Ice armor being a 9 armor bonus, plus movement slow and attack slow, while Chain Frost can jump a lot of times. He upgraded the Aghanim Scepter. So Planet Hype decides to follow up with a Shadow Demon. It looks like they just went and picked their support combo right off the bat. These two supports have really good spam and sustain, so if they can stay in a battle and stay alive for more than like 10 seconds, they can actually do a lot of work together. But they don't have any hard stuns, and they don't really have too much AoE. There's disruption for, but not much else for Planet Hype right now.
Alright, I'm gonna try DCing and reconnecting one more time.
Main offlaner. Well, I guess there's Bounty Hunter and Elder Titan too. But Lone Druid is gonna probably go offlane for this team. He can also run in a safe lane for them, all around a pretty good carry. The only problem is he's not really good against Lich's Chain Frost, since he does have a hero unit, which means that there will be extra chances for that to bounce around unless he has really good micromanagement. So Planet Hype go with Bounty Hunter, who's really good at picking off and hunting heroes like Chikiro. And early game, I think he can lane pretty well against Lone Druid, since Lone Druid is pretty squishy until he gets his ultimate true form.
Alright, Vic, can you hear me?
250 bonus HP, extra armor at
Alright.
level 1.
Is my in-game audio working at all?
In addition with that, Shadow Demon and Lich
No.
aren't the greatest roaming and ganking supports.
10 seconds to go.
So Bounty Hunter could be a risky pick here unless they
5
also
seconds.
get some gankers on the field.
Dyer's pick.
Planet Hype picks up the Huskar, and Happy Men
10
complete their
seconds to go.
complete their lineup with Drow Ranger and Troll Warlord.
5 seconds.
So just one more pick, and then we'll get in game. It looks like they need their carry. So Spec for Planet Hype. Really great level 6. Really good against Shadow Shaman, and pretty good against Drow Ranger too. Actually, as all of those heroes are really squishy. Inspector's Haunt lets the Dire team do direct damage to those heroes.
Alright, hopefully my in-game audio is working. Once we get a little bit in, I should be able... Okay, I do have the audio signed, so I think this is an issue on Vic's side. Alright. Alright, so hopefully while Vic is reconnecting, I'm going to go over our lineups real quick. We've got 1314, the captain for Planet Hype, taking that Bounty Hunter to the off lane. We've got Ace Light on the Shadow Demon. Rabbit going to take our Spectre to the safe lane to farm up. Lord Wildman on the Huskar, which I would assume is going to be going mid. And Azure taking over that Lich. Going over to the Radiant Team Happy Men, we've got Katodayet on the Jakiro. BZ Chaos on the Shadow Shaman. Jack going to safe lane with the Lone Druid. Fappy on the Drow Ranger. And JT, which I believe is
30 seconds to go.
JT is not Jack, JT is a different player. JT taking that Troll Warlord into the mid lane. You can see a quiet start for both teams. People are mostly just beginning at their lanes. BZ's dropping... Probably going to drop a ward here on top lane. Alright, got a quick pause coming out. Hopefully Vic is back in game and is going to be able to hear me here. Alright, Vic, are you in game and can you hear me? Alright, we're going to get back underway. Hopefully Vic will show up here in just a moment. But 1314's gotten past his lag issue. You can see he's going to pop invis, grab this invisibility rune from the bot lane, get pinged out by Katodayet on that Jakiro. BZ Chaos is going to drop the ward up on top. And Vic, are you with me, buddy?
Hi, it looks like I just got in. Sorry about that, having a little Steam trouble. Did we introduce both teams?
We have already gone through introductions.
Awesome. These are some really interesting picks. Troll Warlord and Huskar, not the most common heroes to see. And Drow Ranger's a bit of a recent addition to the metagame.
Yeah, Drow's seen a little tiny bit of play in the pro scene. I forget which teams were running her. But I know I saw her win at least one game in a pro match, which is a pretty rare occurrence. I know we see a disruption up on top lane. But looks like no follow-up's going to come out of that. So far, all's quiet on this try versus try situation up top. But the aggressive try seems to be doing its job, as Rabbit doesn't have a single last hit.
Dyer's mid tower could use a little help.
Yeah, Spectre's as far as farming, but she really excels at catching up by killing with Haunt
Dyer's mid
and her
tower
other passives.
technical difficulties.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little concerned. I'm feeling a little concerned for Planet Hype here, is with a Lich and a Shadow Demon, there's just not a whole lot of damage that can come out from this tri-lane when Happy Men want to get aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. All of their damage is pretty level dependent, in my opinion. And that's really not what you want in a tri-lane, and it's especially not what you want when you have a melee carry and they're not pulling in stacking. Their camps aren't even warded, and they really need to start taking advantage of the experience in jungle, otherwise we're going to have level 1 and 2 supports for a very long time.
Yeah, they do have that edge with the Lich. For people who don't know, I think it was 679 featured the change to Sacrifice, so that Lich's Sacrifice grants XP to everyone who's in range, and we can actually see as you're there sacrificed a creep that was in the lane. So I'm not certain what the ranges were like. He might have even had to worry about giving XP to the Radiant with that one.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why Lich has fallen out of the meta a bit, because you have to choose whether to be in lane and sacrifice or back off a bit, give your opponent some space, and sacrifice at a safe distance.
There was actually some commentary that I was listening to a little while back. I think it was The Capitalist, or might have been Luminous, talking about how Lich and Luna in particular are the sort of heroes who always come into favor at the start of a new patch because they're very stable and reliable and sort of easy to play, and once people adjust to the patch they sort of fall off, which was an interesting line of thinking, I thought.
Yeah, I think I read an article that kind of expanded on this thing. I don't really this lone druid is gonna not switch to... Oh, looks like we have an engagement top. We can talk later.
Alright, nice disruption coming out on Fappy, and then Lich with the Frost Blast, but as we can see, it's just not enough. There's not any control aside from that disruption. And the Frost Blast itself doesn't do much damage. It's still only level 1, because Azir himself is only level 2.
Yeah, and if you look at the amount of regen in Radiant's inventories, I don't think they're going to be forced to back out of this lane anytime soon either. So all of this mana use from the Dire team, especially from the Shadow Demon, it's going to be kind of a waste. Using that disruption without killing someone or saving a life early game is usually pretty bad.
Yeah, I have to agree. This tri-lane is really not going well for Planet Hype. They need somebody to make things happen. But maybe Wildman, Lord Wildman is the one to do it. He's up to 18-4 on this Huskar. Has been outlaning this Troll Lord by a pretty significant margin.
Yeah, and Huskar's a really great ganker with a single target ultimate that does pretty much half of a hero's life.
We can see Lord Wildman just now skilled up that life break, so it looks like he might be planning to make some use of it, and already he's headed down towards bottom lane, it looks like. Maybe going to do something about Jack, who's been getting excellent farm up on this lone druid.
Oh, it looks like Rabbit's about to go down. He's
Alright, going back over to bottom lane, Lord Wildman shows up life breaks onto Jack, who tries to pop true form, try to tank his way through it, but he's very slow, getting a lot of burn damage from those spears. 1-3-1-4 gets the shuriken off, and down goes the lone druid.
single digit health on this Huskar. Just shows how dangerous this hero is. Once he has a couple stacks of Berserker's Blood, even at level 1, it's so significant.
Yeah, and I didn't see, did 1314 get the track off there? I think he might not have, either didn't have mana for it, or might not have been 6 yet before the kill.
Dire's
Oh yeah, I
mid
didn't
tower
notice
won't
either.
last much longer. Dire's
Could've been
structure's
either
looking
way.
fortified.
That is one thing that Planet Hype definitely have going in their favor. Despite losing this
Dire's
tri-lane,
mid
they
tower
do
could
have a
use a
bounty
little
hunter, and
help.
if they can start racking up the kills, they can really do a lot to make up for the gold deficit they're
Radiant's
suffering right
bottom
now.
tower's seen better days.
Yeah, and one thing I was thinking during the draft was whether the Shadow Demon and the Lich were going to be able to gank with the Bounty Hunter, but Huskar kind of makes that irrelevant. And so does the Spectre. Both of those heroes are really great at hunting down and killing single target heroes.
Alright, we can see a
They
bunch
have
of spells getting traded back and forth in top lane, a bunch of paint getting traded. Fappy goes a little low, but no real damage coming out on either side so far.
I'm really surprised he didn't choose to stay in lane, since Chaos does have this health salve, and that's gonna do a lot more to have the Drow Ranger in lane.
Oh, and up on top,
But obviously
1314
Bounty
comes
Hunter
in,
is.
tracks up Chaos. Nice Ice Path coming out. Sure, oh, but the Shuriken catches up to Chaos and gets the kill.
Radiant's mid tower's coming apart.
It looks like Troll Warlord picked up an Invis rune, and he's camping out top too.
Alright, Ice Path comes out, lots of damage coming onto Rabbit. Nicely done by JT. Oh, and is that going to be another kill on Ace Light? Yes, it is. As the entire Radiant team is rotated up with Jack TPing in.
Yeah, Huskar's moving up too. 1314 is back and looking to track. Check out that ram.
Alright, we see Rabbit porting in on that Spectre as Radiant goes to work on the tower. I don't think this tower is going to last much longer. Hex comes out on Lord Wildman, tower goes down, and it looks like Dire's going to fall back to their tier 1. Oh, but Fappy catches out Azir with a Frost Arrow. Is it enough? Is it enough? Another Frost Arrow comes out. Spectre Dagger comes out. Oh, nice root onto Rabbit. Rabbit might be in a lot of trouble here. Great Ice Path coming in through the trees. Lone Druid doing a lot of damage. Oh, huge with the Drow Ranger. Another root onto Rabbit. Meanwhile, 1314 gets shackled up. Huskar continues to do a ton of damage. Troll pops the ult. Huskar going very low to Troll Warlord. So much action, can't really talk. Nice axes. Oh, and 25 hit points. Huskar goes down to another hit from the Troll Warlord. And that bear is eating a lot of tower damage, looking for another root onto Ace Light. Isn't going to be enough. Liquid Fire comes out, another Whirling Axes. Ice Path misses. Self-Disruption to buy a little bit of time. Spectre TP's back in. Shadow Demon goes down. Oh, sorry, Bounty Hunter TP's back in. Immediately tracks up the Lone Druid. Takes the bear, at least, has a track onto the Druid, and he looks like 1314 is going to back off for now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, losing the bear to the tower isn't a huge deal, because all they get is experience. But as I talk, another track comes out. This Troll Warlord is looking to get aggressive. They have no true sight for his Bounty Hunter, so he's able to do whatever he wants.
Dire's mid tower won't last much
Yeah,
longer.
Spectre Dagger comes out onto Jack, and Rabbit isn't going to have enough to follow it up. While 1314 is just shadowing the Radiant team all the way back to where their creep wave actually takes out the mid tower. The silence comes out from Drow. Big Whirling Axes. 2 tracks up on the Radiant. Life Break onto JT. Nice Ice Path coming out. 1314 doing a lot of damage, but taking a lot from those Frost Arrows, and it looks like JT is going to limp away. Meanwhile, the Bounty Hunter goes down. Lord Wildman now is eating Frost Arrows up. Jack's going very low on the backside. Huskar goes down. Lich manages to take out the Lone Druid, but gets Ice Pathed himself, and now it looks like Azir is going to go down too. One more hit's all that's needed, and the Shadow Shaman takes the kill.
Great fight from the Radiant team, and is really good use of the range of their skill.
Tower ain't a pretty sight right now.
For example, at Either Shock, I think its range is around 400 or 500, but then if there's units behind it, it'll hit them up to 1,000 units away.
Mid-tower's having
So little things like that, just knowing how the hero works and taking advantage of it in a fight, is really impressive. And this Troll Warlord play is excellent. It's definitely taking advantage of the buffs from Drow.
Yeah, we can definitely see Radiant's team, every one of their heroes has the ability to be ranged and use the benefit of Drow's aura. With the Druid and Troll, they both have the option to go melee and give up that aura.
Yeah, and this Lone Druid, usually you don't see him in ranged form, but we might actually see it this game.
Alright, Bounty Hunter opens up, tracks up the Drow, Spectre haunts in, lots of chaos coming out, Whirling Axes, Ice Path, Frost Blast comes out from Lich onto JT, Bounty keeps trying to stalk him, JT goes down on the backside, Huskar meanwhile is manning up, takes down the Drow. Lord Wildman and Rabbit both trying to chase out Chaos. Nice Ice Path comes slowing down Wildman, but it's not going to be enough. Chaos goes down. Meanwhile, over in the trees, we see Jack gets disrupted up by the Shadow Demon, fighting off his own illusions. The entire Dire team is converging on him. I can't predict him surviving very long here. Another Ice Path comes out, catches, I think, 4 heroes, but still the Lone Druid goes down.
Yeah, it's kind of an unbelievably good fight for the Dire team. I'm really surprised it went so well and everyone lived. But it also kind of shows what I was saying in the draft. There's a Dire have created this lineup which has really good supports and a long engagement. Shadow Demon can spam out Shadow Poison, Soul Catcher. Those don't have horrible cooldowns, and then Lich also with his armor and Frost Blast can make these team fights go very well if they have a little bit of time. And he also has this Chain Frost now. So
Oh, nice. 3-man Ice Path comes out. Serpent Wards come down. Immediately the Bounty Hunter drops Disruption onto the Jakiro to slow it down, but Ace Light's eating Frost Arrows. Aether Shock comes to bring him down. Whirling Axes onto Azure. Nice Lich Ult comes out. Does a lot of damage. The Radiant successfully splits while JT cleans up the Lich.
Yeah, Spectre's Haunt is on cooldown for 30 seconds, so if this was 10 minutes later in the game, look for that to clean it up, but at this stage, it's still not that big of a spell in my opinion.
We can see a Midas comes out for the Lone Druid. While it looks like we've got the Jakiro is making Radiance Mechanism, and Spectre is on her way to a set of drums.
That's interesting. It looks like the Dire want to fight now, and Radiant is content to farm. Even this Dro goes a pretty conservative build.
Over on bottom lane, 1314 gets spotted out with the Sentry Ward. JT does some damage, but gives up the chase as soon as Bounty gets away from that ward.
Yeah, 1314 knows the ward was there. It's the mark of a pretty good. Someone used to Bounty Hunter.
And Rabbit's standing on lane here with Fappy looping around behind him. I think we're going to see the loss of the Spectre here. Frost Arrows comes out, Hex from the Shadow Shaman. Nice Chakra coming out, overlaps with the Ice Path unfortunately, but there's plenty of damage to bring him down. And a Panic Haunt right at the end of his life to try to save himself. Blows that big cooldown. 1314 comes in to try to snipe off Fappy, but Hex comes out, Ice Path, Macropyre comes out. Is it going to be enough? Are they going to get him? Yes, they do.
It's really good for the Radiant team because they didn't want to just trade carries there.
Oh, I didn't even see the Lone Druid go down elsewhere.
Yeah, both teams have 3 cores, but Spectre's the only one who can really just take over a game completely.
The Dire best do something about that.
Yeah, Planet Hype's lineup feels a lot more like a 4p1, but we've got another engagement coming out. Serpent Wards go down on the tower. Life Break onto the Shadow Shaman. He's going to go down to that Heskar. Gets Ice Path up. Whirling Axes, I think, misses everybody. Dire's on the run, chasing down Radiant. Jakiro gets tracked up. Another Soul Catcher comes out. Lots of damage coming out. Shuriken to break the animation. Down goes the Jakiro. JT is hiding in the trees, trying to TP away. Is he going to make it? Yes, he just barely does.
Yeah, they didn't even see him there. That was a really nice escape, especially after the longest range Frost Blast I've ever seen in my life. He hit him all the way. I don't know if your camera's here. It's pretty far.
Yeah, Frost Blast, not a very long range, but it looks like Azure was able to make the most of it there.
Yeah, definitely. Dire, do you spot out a regen ward bottom? That's pretty good for a Huskar, whose nature it is to drop it extremely low on health. But the Shadow Demon's gonna take it. He needs mana, especially before he gets the mana boots.
Yeah,
So I'm really surprised that Dire is staying in the game as much as they are. But yeah, I think you were right about the track. It's really gonna help them in this mid game where they have a severe disadvantage from the lack of AoE or just basically like team fight ultimates.
Yeah, we can see pulling up the graphs real quick, we've got about a 5,000 gold advantage the way of the Radiant, but it's a very bumpy graph. Every time these fights swing Dire's way, they're making up a lot of lost ground with all of the track kills. Well, the XP is very even, just about 1,000 in favor of the Radiant.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to pop a smoke off the courier and head into the Roche pit, which is going to be extremely easy to take with Precision Aura, which adds 41 damage per ranged auto attack.
Yeah, Chaos, his Serpent Wards just came up, but they aren't even going to bother to pop it for this, and it looks like Planet Hype has no idea this is even going on. This is a very fast Roche.
Roche is gone, courtesy of the Radiant.
We can see Jack takes that Aegis for the Lone Druid. I personally am not a big fan of putting Aegis on Lone Druid. He's got the issue that after he respawns in Druid form, not in true form. And if he loses his bear is still down.
Yeah, Druid form isn't that bad for him.
Guess what's happening to Dire's bottom tower?
Because he gets an extra 50 damage from Dro's Precision Aura.
That's very true.
Even when they're taking Roche, they were in it.
Alright, setting up for a fight here on top tower. Spectre, meanwhile, is off farming on top lane, but she does have Haunt available, so she can jump in at any time.
Yeah, that's the strength of Spectre. She can farm anywhere on the map and then catch up to a team fight anytime she wants. This Shadow Demon's dropping extremely low, down to 200 health.
Yeah, Ace stepped in just to get the disruption off there and immediately took some huge hits coming out from Fappy, who's already dealing nearly 200 damage at this point.
Yeah, and he's really not getting the stacks off on that Shadow Poison. Doesn't do much damage.
Serpent Wards go down at the tower. Lord Wildman's running in, gets shackled up briefly, but it isn't enough. Ice Path Macro Power comes out. Lord Wildman eats a ton of damage. Spectre haunts in, gets surrounded by the Radiant. Nice Chain Frost comes out. 1-3-1-4 goes down to the Troll, but the Chain Frost is doing a ton of damage. Takes down the Bear, takes down the Troll. Lord Wildman, I think, buys back. TP's in. Life breaks onto Catterday, but quickly getting slowed up by Fappy. It's currently a 3-for-1. A root comes out onto Lord Wildman, and that's the second death of the Huskar.
That was a great root.
Oh, and a great Ice Path catches the Lich on the way out, and that's a team wipe in favor of Happy Man.
Difficulties.
Yeah, Dire, like I was saying before, come mid-game, they just don't have the team fight ultimates. And when they saw the Serpent Wards go out on the T2, their decision, especially the Huskars, wasn't, hey, I'm gonna, not take a bunch of damage for free from the Serpent Wards. Their decision was to run in towards them and try to fight. Oh, great pickoff from 1-3-1-4, just runs in and YOLOs the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, that's not the first time 1-3-1-4 has attempted it, but definitely the most successful we've seen. And they're going to go on Jack, who does have that Aegis up. Nice 3-man Ice Path comes out while the Bear goes to town on 1-3-1-4 and then just TPs away.
Yeah, it's another root off on the hunt.
Rabbit chasing down the lone Druid with the hope. Yeah, with those drum charges popped, another great Ice Path comes out. Bounty Hunter pops the Aegis. Is Druid going to be able to get away? He doesn't have a TP in his inventory, so he's stuck running.
Yeah, and he got stuck by his own illusions when Shadow Demon made his Shadow Demon disrupted him, so he was pretty much caught there.
And that's a free Aegis.
That's pretty much the worst way to lose. Huh?
A free Aegis and another track kill going the way of Planet Hype.
Right, yeah, and that's pretty much the worst case for Aegis. Actually, that's worse than the worst case if you get a track off of it. So yeah, not ideal for the Radiant team, but they do take down another tower, and they have a much superior team as far as pushing goes. I don't think Planet Hype has anything going their way when it comes to pushes, whereas every single hero on the Happy Face team is really good at taking down towers.
Oh, and Chaos comes in with that Blink Dagger up on the Shadow Shaman. Lots of disables coming out onto Huskar. Great chaining of the stuns with the Ice Path, and Huskar goes down very easily.
Dire's bottom tower got blown to bits.
So right now, if you look at the net worth chart, every single Radiant hero except for Shadow Shaman is higher than everyone on the Dire team, which includes a Jakiro, who has Vlad's as a ranged hero and Mechanism. So yeah, he's a little bit farmed once he starts stacking auras.
And out comes the Manta for Drow, who was hitting hard enough already and is now going to be doing 250 damage per hit.
Yeah, the Radiant team is playing extremely well with the lead right now. They're using all the little things they can to increase their farm rate and their DPS. You can see using these Drow illusions to take down a tower for free. Down bottom we have Troll Warlord using an Alpha Wolf to increase his damage.
1-3-1-4 is going to try to chase down Jakiro. Double track comes out. It's 5 versus 3 if Dio chooses to chase this out, but they're not going to, and it's just going to be 1-3-1-4 stalking that Jakiro over towards this Dire top tier 2 where Druid's been setting up to take it down.
Yeah, he needs to be really careful. 2 out of the 4 heroes here have true sight.
Dire's bottom tower.
And this is definitely a point in the game where you start to worry about that as a bounty hunter. Especially when you're behind the enemy team, the supports, they have money to keep up with you.
And we can see both teams actually have wards up on this Radiant Rock, and a sentry goes out, this Dire Rock, and a sentry comes out from Radiant to get the D ward.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the support money coming into play. Interesting to see Lone Druid not using his Midas on his bear.
Yeah, that might just
Usually
be...
put the Midas on the bear.
that might just be a matter of micro. A lot of people find that you have to transfer it back and forth between the bear and the hero, and it winds up being a lot of work. Serpent wards come down on these racks. Bear sets up doing a ton of damage to this melee Rax, and Rax goes down. Another 3-man Ice Bath, and Macropyre comes out. Great Chain Frost comes in. Are they going to split in time? It bounces towards Chaos, bounces back towards Jack, who gets away. Life Break coming in. Meanwhile, Fappy goes down. Bounty Hunter already went down, as did Shadow Demon. Wildman almost goes down to the Serpent wards on the backside. Chaos gets a nice Hex off on Rabbit, and that's the carry down, so that's 3 for 1, and both Racks.
Yeah, great play from the Radiant supports, especially the Shadow Shaman. He survived and gone out in a couple of fights with pretty low health, which is really the ideal situation for Shadow Shaman, especially after you plop down the Serpent wards and use your spell.
And
this Midas is...
I really like...
Sorry, go ahead.
BZ Chaos just bought up this gem for Radiant, which is a great decision to have that on the Shadow Shaman, because while he is squishy, you're right that he's been doing a great job of staying alive, and he's the one with the instant disable if that Bounty Hunter wanders into range. Meanwhile, it looks like we're having engagement up on top. Lone Druid gets disabled out. Soul Catcher comes out. Life Break, which does almost nothing. I'm not even certain it connected with the right hero. Track out on the Lone Druid. They're chasing him down. He's very, very slow. Ice Path comes out, only catches 1. Meanwhile, Jack goes down to the Soul Catcher damage. Catterday now is disrupted up, and he's got a track on him as well. So I'm not certain he's going to be able to make it away. BC Chaos might need to be careful to risk losing this gem. 4-man Ether Shot comes out. Huge Ice Path. Catterday's just been on point with these Ice Paths. Rabbit finishes him off. Fappy stands his ground. Beats down Fap, Wildman. Going to work on 1-3-1-4. Gets disrupted up, but the Ether Shock takes him down. Down goes the Draw Ranger. It's BC Chaos alone against 3. Drops the wards in the middle of the jungle as a desperation move, and there's that gem on the deck.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad Serpent ward, and I actually do have to disagree. I mean, I know hindsight's 20/20, but I do have to disagree to put Gem on the lowest health hero on your team by far. I think even Jakiro would be better. He has sneaky strength gain.
No, what I'm really shocked with in that fight was that they just kept staying. Fappy and Chaos went in after they'd already lost the Lone Druid and pretty much lost the Jakiro. And I think there were a lot of moments when BZ Chaos could have blinked away and saved that gem.
Yeah, definitely. I don't think this game is really at that point, though, where one fight is going to win it for the Dire team, so... While you're right, they could have saved some lives there. I think it's actually okay to just keep taking those crazy fights just because of how hard the lanes are pushing in. If you look at the other T3 towers, bot has 200 health and top is half gone too. So it's not going to take much. Just a couple of Drow illusions who benefit from Precision Aura and her ridiculous stats. And these towers are just going to be mincemeat.
Yeah, we can see, taking a look at the graphs, for the first time in a while we've actually got a little bit of progress for Planet Hype there. XP coming down a little bit from a peak at about 8,000, and gold maybe leveling off at 15, but they're going to need a lot more than one fight. You're absolutely right. And another Roche goes down. Looks like Troll Warlord's going to take it this time, and meanwhile 1-3-1-4 gets over aggressive, tracking it. Radiant spots it out with a Sentry Ward and gets an easy kill. Looks like Vic is having some technical issues over on the side, but we can see Happy Man going to work on that bottom tower. Serpent wards come out. Nice Hex onto A-Slide, who's going to go down while during the duration of the Hex. Haunt comes out, but there's no backup. Fappy and the Bear and the Serpent wards doing a ton of damage to these racks, and that's going to be another set of racks, and I think we're getting very close to GG here.
Yeah. This game's been going for a very long time. Team started to decide to team fight rather than play.
Top tower's in bad shape.
ganking style. I think it just
The Dire
turned
are
out
one
picks
of
like a
nine in the
Jakiro
top
and a
tower.
Shadow Shaman make it way too hard to
Radiant's
team
top
fight
tower is taking hits.
when you don't pick any AoE abilities.
See, Spectre Dagger comes out, 1314, gets aggressive again, and immediately pays for it with the Great Ice Path. Rabbit gets rooted up and dies in the duration of the root. And this is just bad to worse. Shakamon Lord Wildman. That's 3 heroes on the deck. That's going to be the last pair of racks and Mega Creeps for the Radiant.
Dire's top rags didn't make it. Dire's mid tower's having technical. Radiant's got a case of the Mega Creeps.
Lich Ultimate comes out, kills one. Lord Wildman life breaks onto Drow, just barely brings her down, but then gets caught in the Ice Path. For his troubles, goes down to the Troll Warlord. Meanwhile, Lone Druid is over fountain farming, which might be a little bit too aggressive for him, but then again, it might not. He's now got that Troll Warlord coming in for backup. 1314, eats Whirling Axes. Battle Trance comes out, and that's the end of that Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, and just to show you how ahead the Dire team is right now,
Dire's mid tower.
they blew, they call the GG right here. They blew like 5 or 6 abilities a lot of time in that last team fight just to take down the Shadow Shaman, and he still got away with the 100 health.
Radiant.
Soul Catcher, Shadow Poison. They're just devastating from the Radiant. They just show the power of picking team fight and pushing heroes. Basically a how-to and how to beat gankers.
Yeah, definitely a very nice draft and a very nice game coming out from Happy Man. Hopefully we'll get a bit of a more balanced draft next game. Vic, tell me, what would you really like to see out of Planet Hype going into this next match?
Well, I think the problem with this match was that they tried to team fight and they didn't pick any heroes that excel at team fighting other than Lich. So really what I would just like to see is their team trying to embrace the heroes and the abilities they pick better. If you pick someone like a Spectre Bounty Hunter, what you want to do is stretch out the map, you know, give Huskar chances to get in 1v1 situations. Give Bounty Hunter the chance to find out a single support in jungle, and then use Haunts to progressively get more and more kills, or more and more important kills later on in the game. And we didn't see that this game. We saw distracted, not distracted, but extremely desperate Haunts. We saw 5v5 team fighting, where the Lich's ult was the only thing the Dire team was doing in the whole team fight. So I just don't think they made very smart decisions on when and where to fight.
Alright, let's go back out and try to find a lobby to get into game 2. So